everybody. Hey, Aiden, good to see you. Thanks, Q. Appreciate it. Gardening Warrior Q. Moon over Miami, thanks for popping in. And everybody else who had given me a like and, those just hanging out in the background. Thank you. It's probably going to be a little bit of a slow night since it is the holidays and people are kind of rushing to get last minute gifts and things like that. So I don't know how long I'll be on tonight. I know our sweet diva in the dirt is recovering from. Wow, we love it. Storms, Radios, and Cats. I love your new logo. That is awesome. Look at you. Love it. That's cool. Yeah, our diva the dirt is recovering from a singing engagement, a performing engagement, and I'm not sure if she'll be in tonight or not. But other than that, yeah, it's just kind of a slow night. I was out actually doing last minute shopping with my daughter tonight too, because my son, he really has kind of all the things, but I think the one thing, it's so funny, I went and grabbed a few extras just so he has stuff to open. And I think what he really wants is actually something that is used because it is from Super Y. And super wide stuff is kind of hard to find. I don't know if they're just kind of phasing it out or what, but my son likes super Y. And I made this huge mistake because I thought the toy was like, so. He has an iPad and it's like one of those little toy laptops. And I donated it after he kind of ripped the pen off of it. I can't remember if he broke the pen, because then if he broke the pen, that just like takes it down a level. So I went to find one. I'm like, oh, I could probably find one of those used, the laptops. I go on eBay, or no, I go and look through Google to see if Google will bring it up, because Walmart wouldn't come up on Walmart. Google brings it up on eBay, so I go to eBay and eBay has it listed for like $100 resale. Yeah, I just gave away a toy that, yeah, could have sold for like between $70 to $100. But, unless it's really, that was brand new, the one that was for $100, but the $70 one was used. So, maybe I could have made $50 at least. Yeah, so, you might want to, you have some older toys that are in new condition, even if they're your children's toys now and they're just a little bit grown, you might want to double check what they might resale at if you need a little extra cash. I wish I had, but that's okay, because where we donate to for foster and adopt people. No, we're not that kind of high. No, thanks, Marshmallow Man, but it's good to see you. It's the Marshmallow Man. I haven't had any gummies tonight. Yeah, guess they are collector's items. I don't know why though. They don't seem that old, Q. Maybe they just did not put out that many of those little, play laptops. Yeah, high on life. High on trying to get stuff done. But the other stuff I found for him was okay. Like the prices were good. We went to Marshall's. I don't know if you guys have a Marshall's near you and you are shopping for people, but they can have some really good deals. But one thing I found actually, and moms and dads end up buying stuff for themselves for Christmas. And one of the things I did buy, and I was going to wait until if Brenda was going to come in tonight, I was going to show her because she might like them too. But I don't know how far out in the country she is. They have these great storage mason jars. Q, you might like these too. I had gotten two like this. I want to say mine are a little bit more square that I got off of Amazon, and I got two for close to 30. I think they're like 26. So I saved like $3 each at least, or close to $4 each. These were only $9.99. And they're great. They have the seal. The only difference is that mine came with like another extra seal, like an orange seal from Amazon. But I got them for storing flour and sugar. I like the lockdown lids like that, and they seal really well. I checked the seals. Right, Storms? I thought they were really nice. So for us adults, wanting holiday presents, like Marshall's had some pretty nice stuff in their kitchen department. They also had, which I didn't check the price. I wish I had. They had the enamel cast iron, a lot of those on sale. I stayed away from that because I had to go and this is going to sound ridiculous. We do like a matching PJ thing. We've done it since mom got here. I think it really, really caught fire or caught on around like COVID when people were trying to make themselves feel better. And it seemed like everybody was doing the matching pajamas because what else did we have to do when we were kind of locked down? I had gotten some matching pajamas last year and I just couldn't do it because it was like my first year without my mom and it had only been like not even like it was like 2 months and a week maybe after she had passed and I just felt weird. I think it was 2 months. It was really 2 months. I felt weird doing that picture with my family. So we put them away. And they're really nice pajamas. They're like the Hannah Andreasen. I get them on sale, but they were really nice pajamas. Darned if I can find mine and Malachi's. And that's like, don't judge me. But that's like over $50 in pajamas. It's actually close to $70 of pajamas that I have missing somewhere in my home. And I just had to rebuy them to take a picture because my daughter and my husband found them. You feel weird. You okay there, Marshmallow Man? Don't be acting up in here because, but what's wrong? You all right? Might want to call somebody nearby. Make sure I can help you out. But yeah, so I had to reorder them and I feel ridiculous. Oh, good. I'm glad you got a replacement toaster oven. I remember you said it died last week. That was awful. See, Storms, that's what I wanted to spend my money on. I wanted to get a toaster oven before ours just kicks the bucket because we've just been having ours is like I love how Diva says it's her like grown up easy bake oven. I just don't have the feature for frying, the air fryer. I'm sure Q has an air fryer. She has all the things when it comes to she loves to cook. But I wanted the one with the air fryer for the next one because of my one daughter, like she survives off of chicken nuggets pretty much. That's one of her food groups. Oh, right, Q? And because you shift stuff around trying to make room for other things. And that's how we are right now because honestly, this room is still filled. And then I was going through some of our garage because we had to put up a panel over our door to get our homeowners insurance discount for if you don't cover one opening, you don't get credit for any opening that you have covered. So all my shutters that I've had on all the windows these years, I have not gotten credit for because on my door, I have 4 small windows and there is no panel to cover that door or those windows on that door. So we have missed out on that as a discount. Hey, Shiny Shave, welcome in. I hope to invest it. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, you have the new one with the air fryer. That's awesome. And roasting. Awesome. Yeah, mine are big enough for roasting. I did that with my first DeLonghi, I think is how you said it. Say that name. when we got married, and I will never go back. It has to be big enough to roast a small chicken, at least for Theron and I, because it just saves the heat, our air conditioning bill. The heat that comes off our oven is just unreal here in South Florida. Bob! Oops, might burp a little bit. I just downed something to eat really fast. Yes, it is. It's Fri-Yay, Bob. How's the Philippines, my man? I was talking to another lady from the Philippines. She's handling actually our permitting. She's a digital assistant to the people doing our electrical for our panel because we have to get a new panel too. That's what came up with this windstorm. They have a windstorm mitigation that you have to get in order to get your insurance when you have to change over. Duncan, I was waiting for you, but I didn't wait too long because I figured I could show it again. Look at these, Brenda. I found them for $9.99 at my local Marshalls. Aren't they great for like flour? And they've got a nice seal and everything. I have some already that I got off of Amazon when they were on sale, when they were running their sales. But I saved like $3 to $4 on each jar, getting 2 more this way, getting them at Marshall's. My other 2, I have my hard red berries. Wheat berries, my hard red wheat berries stored in. Great news, my niece. Wonderful. She passed the board exam. That's wonderful. So now is she going to be able to get over here though? Like what you and I were talking about, Bob. I don't know why I'm going into like a Midwest accent, or I don't know. Is it a Fargo kind of accent? Oh, Tintin is okay. She's a radiologist. Awesome. But is she also coming or is in the States already? Because I know you guys help the family, which is awesome. But yeah, I was thinking maybe I should take you guys for a walk around the neighborhood, but with things being just so weird lately. And they just put our lights back up, and I still don't know why they got taken down in the first place because our lights were all blue and white. And I don't know if it was anti-Semitic or if somebody just did the lights until we could get the company out, like somebody local in the community, because we have some people who do that. It's always a hint of Irish in the accent. Yeah, I actually I was watching one of the Hallmark movies, and they were over in Scotland, and I went looking up my Scottish names in my heritage just to find my tartans. I think I told you guys this. One is like a bumblebee. One is actually yellow and black. And the other one was quite pretty, and it actually looked like Christmas. But those are like great grandparents. My we have a lot of Irish though. We have Gallagher and then the Mullen name. And then of course my last name, my husband's name is a well-known Irish name, which is Woods. Hey, Mercury 3 actual. Look, no stars. I think that's what was bothering you last time, but I'm not sure. Was bothering your eyes. So I hope that's better. But yeah, it was interesting, to find out about some of the family names. I know that Mullen, I think I had said about they were millers. They were possible millers of the grain. And then I was, had just gotten my grain, and that was just so cool. Oh, cool. You're Irish and Swede. I'm always finding out more, as I look back. Yeah. Clan means history. Hey, that's what I was trying to find out from you is what uh like websites are really reliable for the clans, and then I found one that was it was like a Scottish website. Yeah, the clans means history, which was kind of interesting, but I still have more to discover because I was not familiar with the one because it was a maiden name. The one was a maiden Scottish name from my great grandmother. I forget if that was on my Welsh grandmother's side, but my grandmother on my father's side, um, she was Welsh, like, and I believe she had mostly English and Welsh in her background. And I had never heard of the Welsh love spoons. I'm like, where have I been? Underneath a rock? My grandmother's been Welsh for all this time, and I know nothing of my history. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible, Q. Yeah, Malachi, you think he, does something in his pants with some of his gas. No leads on the no, not Tomlinson, but I do wonder. I've got to look that. Let me write that down again because I wonder if it's a break off from the Mullen, like before my grandmother became a Mullen or one of my grandmothers. It's hard because I get them confused as far as which side is which. I do know like Becker is on, of course, my German grandmother's side. And that's on my mom's side. We're German and Irish on that side as far as history. But that is the Gallaghers and uh I noticed that mostly it was a lot of the Scots had the tartans. I didn't notice if a lot of the Irish clans had tartans. Aid, is that pretty much what it is? Is it just the Scots that went by clan tartans, or did that start, you know, in Great Britain? I don't know. I have no pen. How do I have not one pen around me? Well, I'll have to look that up. Oh no, not the pizza party at school. Bleh. Malachi would be sick because he can't do any dairy at all, Q. Oh, you did? Oh yeah, you do. Busy day of grandchild's the but one how wonderful. That's awesome, Mercury 3. I miss that smell of just when you have a clean baby and just like when you snuggle up next to them and you smell them. I love it. Hey, Grandma Markle. For your siblings, kids. Yeah, it's I am my siblings' kids are all grown now. I'm the youngest in the family, so I can't play that trick on them. They tried to do that with me though. Gardner Josh, hey. I love pizza too. Pizza and tacos. But I just actually fried up some eggs and had some buttered toast. Good to see you, Gardner Josh. But yeah, I think Grandma Markle, I think and that was what they were trying to do with mine, my son. They bought the big piano that rolls out and you can stomp on it like from that old movie Big. My mom got that and I could hear my sister laughing in the background. Oh, did you? Bob, you're so bad. Good for you though. My mom's side, my grandfather was English Irish. My grandmother was German. Worked for them in America after World War One. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, we had Myers as our German name. Um, but my grandmother was tough and yeah, she actually ended up buying a Volkswagen after World War II, and she also was working a lathe during that time while the men were away. She was like a Rosie riveter, but she wasn't riveting, she was lathing. I don't know what if she was working at a local furniture store, I don't know, or furniture maker. I don't know what the lathing was for. I wish I did. I wish I knew more about that. But I remember she bought a Volkswagen Beetle after, and I think in Schindler's List, Volkswagen was where they hid some of the Jewish people, was signing them, you know, documentation into Volkswagen. Yes. What? What did I miss? Oh, the cheese sauce messes with her stomach. Poor thing. I don't know what's up with your smelly cat. Got into something, Aid? My daughter would love for us to get a cat. I just worry about the her room is full of because of her being an esthetician and a makeup artist, her room is full of products and like she has it all organized and it's beautiful. But if a cat got in there, it would be like heaven for a cat. Be swatting stuff off all the shelves. It would be a disaster. She would love it at first because the cat's cute and cuddly until it starts swatting everything down on her floor after a couple times. Okay, cool. I understand. Really? That's a cool English name, Peacock. It's really cool, Mercury. Our the Welsh name, I can't even that's terrible. It left my brain. What was it? Oh, Fluellen. Fluellen was our Welsh name. Vidra, welcome. Was it your first car as a VW Beetle? I had a friend in high school who had one and I loved her car. And I don't know how, but she was like on her own. I don't know if like her grandmother raised her part way and then she um was given some type of inheritance, but she lived pretty much on her own when we were in high school. Oh, she's on your knee. Oh, gray with white paws. I would love one. The problem is the shedding with us with our allergies and asthma. That's awesome. Well, right now my daughter actually bought my mother's car to kind of circumvent the how do you say it? My mother was missing the will. She later said she threw it out, and which makes sense because the will had stuff in it that was no longer there, and any monies the executors sometimes in certain states have to somehow pay back. I don't know. There's really weird laws when things go into probate, and so my daughter basically bought the car for $10 to keep it out of probate. And that's what, if you're ever in a position like that and, you have a mother that you're taking care of, it's definitely something to do. Hello, Diva in the dirt. Good to see you. How you feeling? We hope you're feeling a little rested from today. I said I wasn't sure if you were going to make it in, that you had your gig last night and you might be resting up a bit. It's gig season. But yeah, ours was Fluellen. Um, I think Fluellen, that was the one that went back to England, of course, being Welsh and all. Oh, that's right, too. You've got the bread making going on. You are like burning the candles on all ends. I think you got like the 4-point candle. It's like one of these, and it's like burning on all the ends. I know her place must smell awesome. But she's always dealing with that one that wants to burn. I saw that in your Facebook post. I don't know if there's going to be a panel tonight. I'm not sure, Marshmallow Man. I'm not sure because I'm not going to stay on too long. And it's probably going to be, just Bob and Barry and Maureen, if they want to come up, and Brenda. Those are, and Mercury's been up too. That's what I saw. Somebody said that to you, Maureen, about that's how her French grandmother or something preferred it a little bit burnt on the outside because the crumb is perfect on the inside and there's no like mushiness at all. Yeah, probate court is yeah, but in Florida is weird. Florida can get like California and just weird. Mercury. People are kind of greedy. Also, it would have created some issues with people who didn't take care of my parents, we'll just say, and decided to do lots of drugs instead. Mhm. So I was very grateful to my mother that she disposed of the will that was actually written when they had the house and they actually had money. They didn't really have anything but a few things. Yeah, you have. Yep. You haven't been in here in a while, though. I haven't seen you in a while, Louis. It is. It is different in every state. And it'll be fine. Mercury, from what I was reading, in 2 years, if she really all she had was like personal belongings pretty much when she left and that car. So the car was the best way to do it for my daughter to actually inherit it was to have her just buy it from my mom because of the will just being gone. And at least in the state of Florida. It does get messy after people pass, and even as they're on their way passing, it's just difficult with some families, especially if you have a family that is his, hers, and theirs, like we were. It was like the Brady Bunch, and I was Alice, except for I was their child. So they had his, hers, and then I was theirs. And there was a lot of jealousy because I was theirs and I had the baby position and I had the life of they were more mature and dad had a better job with IBM and yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Mercury 3 actual, I'd like to do a legal disclaimer. I am not a lawyer and only dealt with Michigan law. Yeah, I've dealt actually with the children and families. I'm a foster parent here, Mercury, and the foster system tried to take my son's subsidy. It wasn't the whole system, it was the county. And it was a mess at the time. Um, So what I did is I researched and I prayed and I researched and I prayed and I got a form that was like right in thanks to the internet and I don't know if they just didn't lock it away tight. It was a whole document on special needs subsidies by county. And sure enough, for some reason, Palm Beach County, they weren't giving many that year. Like any. So that document helped get my son his subsidy. They couldn't take it away, which is what they wanted to do. They wanted to take away like half his money. And it helped another family who had been in litigation and stalled. They had wanted to adopt this foster child that they had. And it was this loving family who had this child who was paralyzed and he needed a wheelchair van desperately and they needed help getting it and they needed help like with the insurance and stuff and just help financially if they were going to adopt this child out of the system and so it moved it forward and they were able to adopt him and they were able to get the needs met and they were medical needs for this child. Yes, federal law, state law, county law. Yeah. They can all conflict. And they also have people in between that was where I went after them. Uh, was I basically said, like, I think the news would be interested in this story. I'm wondering if you are giving kickbacks within your office. So these subsidies are not given out to any special needs children within the county. And what do you know? Suddenly things were, well, how much do you want? Because then that after I had found that, I showed it to our lawyer, and then she actually wanted me to do like assist her on other cases. Yeah, I was playing ball. It was my son. By then, he was our son. We had him almost 3 years. It was a month away from his third birthday when we adopted him. So yeah, we were playing hardball at that point because they were playing hardball. Yes, exactly. And each level, yep. Yeah, I learned about double dipping and all that stuff. Mercury, like subsidy means you cannot get Social Security, um, disability at the same time for that same child because it's a double dip into federal if they're like, I think it's IVE. I forget the classification of special needs that they have to be, but yeah, you cannot double dip. It's just interesting. Hey, Morgan, good to see you. Yes, threats do work at times. Yes. Finally, yeah, found the right one. And I found something that might have been a truth because they did move after my lawyer said, I've got this document that my client found, and I know she's been talking to you. And when would you like to, finish up the paperwork and give her subsidy for her son? The news always gets things going, right? Yeah. No, they don't like that. Well, they don't want a light shined on what they're doing because, the light that in it used to be, investigative reporting. There's still some local, ones that will do investigative reporting when it comes to stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was getting intimidated by the adoption specialist, Morgan. It was bad. She I actually asked for her to be pulled off my case and wanted a new specialist or just to deal with the office and not to deal with her. She kept trying to cram you're only getting this subsidy for him down my throat. And I was like, there's nothing that's changed with my child from fostering to adopt other than he's getting adopted and he's found a home and he's actually costing you less money. So, yeah, you got to play hardball sometimes. That's for sure. But yeah, I was just getting on. It was really actually not even, of course, about that. It was my pastor came over and he was helping us put up our last panel that we needed for our discount for our hurricane discount because we have shutters on everything and we have a windstorm door for our garage. We just needed that covered. And we were talking about plans like what, Pastor Joe, what are your plans for Christmas and Christmas Eve? And he was saying he hadn't had a good Christmas Eve, and we both almost said at the same time, like since our moms were doing Christmas Eve. And he talked about the spread because he's Italian and like all the stuff they had, and his mom would make fresh calamari and all the dishes. 16. No way. You've got to be kidding. That must have been back in the day because now I think they check those kind of things now a little bit more, at least in our state. That's what's sad too is the um families don't get help. Like, they're giving our tax dollars away everywhere and to other countries, and these families that have messed up family members who they inherit their children, who usually have drug and alcohol exposure, they don't get much financial help. It depends. Like if they've gone through the system, sometimes they'll get a lawyer that can get them some help, but wow, you were so young. My mom had all my mom had my nephews, 2 of them, and then for a short time, she had all 5 she was raising because of my half siblings. Yeah, I had a young lawyer and she didn't have the person to do a lot of the research for her Mercury, so I had to do my own research if I wanted to hold on to that subsidy for my son. But she was good as far as writing the letters, talking to the right people who I wouldn't know who to talk to, and she got it moving, and of course, doing all that paperwork that there's no way I would want anything to do with. You're so wide awake. Yeah, I'm waking up now too a little bit. Oops, wait a minute. Had calamari and beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, happy birthday to her. Puset. That's nice. Okay, I was in my second year of college. You were already in your second year of college at 16? You were smart, girl. Oh, bless you. Bless you that you could do that. Right. Hi, Alda Garden. Good morning. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. We were fortunate in Florida. They basically gift you the money to adopt the child out of the system. What they like, if anybody is listening in earshot and they're thinking of moving to Florida and would consider foster to adopt, I would definitely recommend it. The only thing is there is no guarantee it will go from foster to adopt. You may foster and foster and foster, but you can say that you're interested in fostering to adopt, and they often will find you children to bring into your home that they maybe are the family is on its third strike because the parents just can't work the program and stay out of trouble. Yes, you do. That's what I was getting at. You really do. You get less, and that's not fair. My mom, yeah. The only thing is if they are drug and alcohol exposed and you can prove that they have some kind of disability, that's one avenue, like getting them on disability. But now they've made it so difficult because so many people have gone on disability who don't need it, really. And what's the shame is I don't understand is the people who really need it are like going through maybe their second time with a lawyer fighting against the system, and other people seem to be able to work the system like and get it. It's just, yeah, it's hard. The system's broken. That's what we always say, being foster parent, you learn that it's broken, and um I don't know if they can ever patch it back together again. There's 2 boys under 2. Oh, wow. You were. Oh my goodness. Like, all hats off to you. Morgan, wow. You were like old school. You remind me of my great-grandmother, my German great-grandmother. She was like that. Like, nothing could stop her. Even in the nursing home, they called her Sarge because she was really good at administration. She had a great gift of administration. And when she was seeing things that just were like didn't make sense to her as far as this would work better this way, she would let them know in no uncertain terms. Not rudely, but she would be like, "That this would work much better if you did this and then that and that." When I was in college. Oh, yeah, right? I'm so impressed. She was in her 2nd year at 16. That's unheard of. I mean, I've heard of the kids who do it now in high school where you can actually earn your by the time you graduate, you can have your associate's degree because you're taking such advanced classes in certain subjects that you get college credit for them, and then you can also dual enroll. They have that here. Took a 5-gallon bucket. Oh, that sounds gross. Oh my gosh. So what are you gonna do? Rinse them out and, put them through a screen how to garden? Like, what's your are you well, you're filming it probably, what your steps are. So I look forward to seeing how you handle that stinky mess. It's gross. I know, that's, like, the worst. I found seeds in something, like, wrapped in that my husband had put in it was like a plastic bag that we threw stuff in. Oh, it was like my son's it was the weirdest place. It was my all my son's glasses in his case that I had taken off the top of the refrigerator, and somehow a plastic bag got in there with my rolled up paper towel that I was starting these seeds. I probably did it. Probably wasn't my husband, poor guy. But yeah, we'll just say there was a fungus in that baggie. That's the only thing that started. Yeah. Wow. How could they deny her if they already had approved her through the state? They must have been using some other funding. It doesn't make any sense that you wouldn't be able to get it, and they could. Or it's an automatic well, wait, let me eat my words because that's your state, and that foster children might be special needs foster children might be a shoo-in to get it, and then once it's based off of whatever your income is coming into the household, maybe she can't, but that doesn't make any sense. Sounds like you need a lawyer. Only folks would call me, sorry. Oh, really? Because you were just an officer. That's awesome. 3 kids and going to college in the military made it and got a beautiful career. Wow. Yeah. My dad did too, Mercury, and he wasn't able to do college because he came home and had 3 kids and then had an awful divorce. And during that time, they were on the farm, and he was, I think, also working. He worked to repair TVs, but somehow he passed the test for IBM engineer and got hired by IBM, and it was the best thing that ever happened to him. But he was such a brilliant man. Like, I have certificates of when he finished his time with IBM, over 25 years of service with that company, left on great terms. It was when they were retiring people early because they had hired so many during the personal computer days. He went on to go to AC school, was top of his class for that. In fact, the Kiwanis or something honored my dad. I found the certificate. The only reason my dad ended up not doing it was because the time it would take for him to become a professional, but the jobs that he would have to take to have his own business. He at the time was like, there's no way I can lift those huge air conditioning units, like the guys that are lifting those, like with them. There's no way. He had a bad back at that time. And it was sad. It was sad. It wasn't him that said that. It was other people were telling him that and he believed them. I think my dad could have. At 90 years old, a PT told us that he was the strongest man he had ever seen at my dad's age. He said the one thing that will take him down is going to be the Alzheimer's. He goes, because physically, this man is not going down otherwise. The killing power from itself, right? Just see him fall over. Yeah, and hard work. You worked hard. South Florida, there's a fungus among us. There's always a fungus among us in South Florida. It's South Florida. Oh, so she was approved while she was with you, and then they took her? Then you should be able to get it back. Something's wrong there. There's definitely something going on. You're a fun guy. I always think of Steve Martin when I hear that joke. She accepted under my income before she was taken. I'm so sorry, Q. Save them or just walk around with a cup and pour seed or both. Yeah, you could just do that. That's sometimes how you just get the best tomatoes, right? When they just kind of start on their own out of the tomatoes that we squish. When I saw you do that with the Everglades tomatoes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I do the same thing. But then I had to stop because that was the bed that ended up getting the really bad root knot nematodes that I have mustard in now. Most of us know how to garden in here. If you don't, he's been doing it a long time. He even knows P. Canaris. P. Canaris was like a kid, came up under him. A fun guy. Yeah, that is incredible. That's awesome. See, when you really want it, your GPA is much higher. I am so mad. I was that kid that you see on those movies where I didn't know I had a night class. I was away at school. My dad later called it the most expensive year at summer camp he ever sent me to. That's how much he regarded that school. It was a junior Christian college up in near Villanova, PA. Hey, Huga, welcome. Um, and it sunk my grades because I didn't know it was there. I was in volleyball at the time, and that was when our practices and our games could be at nighttime. And by the time I found out about the class, it was like way too much to make up, but it was too far along to drop the class. So I had to basically eat it, and it sunk my GPA. And then, because I hadn't had that many classes, under my belt at that time. And then I came home though, and there was a forgiveness. So I was around, I think, that GPA when I graduated too. But, yeah. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Well, you showed him, Morgan. Good for you. I don't know where Jedi is. I miss him. ATN? It's okay. Don't worry. I don't get notifications either sometimes for the people that I want most to like go and see their lives. I don't get it. Yeah, it sounds like, oh, yeah, if we can't see him, we can't violate. Start working. So your dad was like an arborist, or was he? Yeah, you were, right? Those days were awesome. If you could have a little money in your pocket. Oh my goodness, we had a corner store, and it was like if you had a little money, you could go up and get some now and laters and drive your bike up there and get some candy. Heck, those were the days. Now it's crazy. Oh, he has an early morning. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Norwegian. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I don't know if we have any Norwegian in our family. I don't think we do. It would be great to find out. Oh, you're here being quiet. You're doing stuff and getting ready for bed. Okay. I hope you're feeling okay. Yes, the 10-cent Jolly Ranchers and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah. I would be missing it too if I was still teaching. My day started really early when I was teaching, super early, like before 5 a.m. early. Oh my goodness. That's amazing, Morgan. You are brilliant then, if you're a linguist like that as a young child that you could pick that up so well. I wanted to grab a hold of this. I told my daughter, "You are what you believe you are. I believe you're a winner." And my daughter, she is now a surgical technician and gave me that's wonderful. Yeah. And for a girl, we need that from our dads. I mean, we need it from our moms too, but there's just something about having our daddies in our corner. Yeah. I told you. What is that? And one granddaughter any day successful and beautiful. Oh, that is wonderful. You heard the talking, you heard your name. Oh my goodness. That is just incredible. Yeah, that's like Mensa smart. 5 languages? Wow. Well, Homestead Storms is glad to see ya. Um, for the greenhouse, I don't think so. Do you? Do you get to? Are you eating all of it? That's the catch that always gets some of us is you gotta be eating all of it. Are you eating those stinky tomatoes? I'm just teasing you. Oh, it's good to see a high potato. Was it? I forget what that one potato from Aid. Oops. Yeah. And most boys want mama to comfort them when dad has to come down on them. It's true. It's true. Yep. They play each other. The children will play the parents against each other if they can. Okay. Oh, no, it's been wonderful. I love it. It's great to hear about you. I like getting to know the people that come to my side chat. It's great. Yeah, they do. You're right. Good men raise good daughters. No offense. No offense. Loving, positive, and supportive fathers help create good functioning kids. They do. I am proud I was all in my children's lives. That's wonderful. My dad was just a very quiet man. I had to follow him around. Holy cow. Had a garden, that's incredible. But I doubt you ate all that in a month. You would be very roly-poly. You'd be like the blueberry girl from Willy Wonka. Eat all those kind of, like, tomatoes and stuff. But then again, if you're only eating vegetables, it just goes right out of you. Yeah, my dad was super quiet, and, that's what we were talking about today is, Pastor Joe, he learned from his dad, but he worked alongside of his dad, and my husband sadly didn't have that 'cause, um, I always told my he was like, "I wish my father woulda taught me some of this stuff," 'cause he sees me doing things that, he thinks his dad should have taught him. And it didn't occur to me like, well, wait, I followed my dad. I made sure I learned from him because he was such a quiet man that I followed him and tried to be his assistant kind of thing, to spend time with him just to get him talking and to spend the time with him. But yeah, my husband dropped a little bomb on us. And he's like, well, my dad was in the bar. Basically, I didn't get to follow him around, and I'm like, "Well, then I'm really glad you didn't follow him around because I wouldn't want you following him to a bar and, being addicted to that." I thought you were. I forget, what is it, potato, something potato? Is it just the potato or something else potato? Like, is there an adjective with the potato name? I forget. What was this? Wait. I keep losing it. My problem is that I have absolutely nothing in common with the YouTubers I watch, but it's enjoyable. Yeah, me too, with some of them, that's for sure. That's for sure. Like, yeah, I agree. Although, like, I like to watch YouTubers that I can learn from. And right now, when things get stressful, I just watch silly stuff. Like, I even posted that on my Facebook, was one of the cat reels that I was watching that was, like, multiple little cat things. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Marshmallow Man. I thought you guys had a good relationship. I'm sorry to hear that. How's the dad? You got a problem? Okay, I get you. It's a quietly talk. That's cool. Yeah, my husband is kind of that father, but my son with his special needs can't really just go fishing. We have to be really careful how familiar, you know, and comfortable he gets with waterways down here because there are so many, you know. Yeah, it's hard when you're doing it as a single parent. It's hard. It's not easy as a single parent, father or mother, because you have to be both to them. Or you're dealing with the other that's jealous of whatever you're doing. And sometimes, we had my husband had been previously married, so it was this crazy thing. She was the one who left him, but if I braided their daughter's hair, which is, like back then how it felt, their daughter, she's my daughter too. Um, she would come back with a perfect braid the next time, like perfect. It was like a competition, and I was like, I'm tapping out. I don't do competition like that. I'm not putting, her in the middle like that. I'm not dealing with that. And I also didn't like, I saw her kind of manipulating my husband, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, your daddy does not make that kind of money. Plus, he's already sending money over to your mommy for you. He can only, do so much. And he's not a bad daddy because he can't, like, spoil you, basically. Because she had a grandmother that would buy her anything. At the time, it was like those Tamagotchis back in the 90s. And she had like 8 of them and was just obsessed. And, we couldn't do that every time we saw her buy her a Tamagotchi. I'll be working on a video after Carol's live that covers interface on me. Oh, yeah. That'll be a cool video. I'd be interested to hear that. Did you see that video of the guy who took his, oh, what do they call those? It's a paraglider, but it's got the fan and you sit in the chair. Which horrible, uh, I'm not talking about the Hamas stuff. That was horrible. I'm talking about the video of a guy who was a flat earther who went up so high in it to try and see and prove, like, see the earth flat and prove that the sun, something about the sun. He was way up there. I would be puking on humanity. Get close to you. Well, there you go. Those should count. If you harvested those 60 pounds and you're eating those 60 pounds into 20 pounds, I would think so. That's 80 pounds right there to count for next year. Doing awesome. Not to mention whatever, you had going. I keep forgetting to put darn peas. I wanted to grow some peas this winter and do you think I can get out there and do it? No. Also found out my Barbados cherry went through its pot and it's so rooted into the ground. I don't know what to do now because I don't want it in the spot where it rooted itself because it gets eaten alive over there and it doesn't get enough sun. Got the potato thing, which makes me happy. There's a $5,000 handheld radio. Did I miss a video? Must have missed a video. Just like I said, I don't get notifications. Like I keep trying to remind myself I need to go and check on Janice and see what she's up to because I'm not getting any of her notifications at all. Oh, he's getting bed ready. I was lucky, I suppose. Dang it. Where'd it go? Didn't have to deal with her. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, though. 2 weeks old. His teen years, I was working. Yeah, that is involved. That's hard. Single parent is new social norm. It is. There is a problem. Yeah. Yeah, there's some controversy there. I don't know. They were saying like in the 1920s it was drawn as a globe before we knew that it was a globe, but I don't know. I just remember like they practically I can't even get into this conversation because I'm just not well versed in it. But that was what the person believed who went up in that thing. Right? Didn't he take a huge risk? Yeah. Yeah, there would have been nothing left of him if he fell. Nothing. Like, what if it gave out that engine? But then again, I guess he could somewhat glide down because he has a parachute. It's a paraglider if the engine kicked out. It was crazy though. He was really, really, really high up there. Like way up in the clouds. Okay, I was wondering if I could. I thought so. I thought I still could. Yeah. Yep. Some parents just can't do that. And definitely him and his ex didn't see eye to eye on how it should be done. But she turned out all right, thankfully. She turned out because she was the eldest and was sensitive to expectation. She turned out all right, and she was smart. Thank God. Katie was really smart, our first daughter. Because they drew your papers flat. That might be it. That might be, yeah. Yeah, you count the weight that you eat, not what the farm produces and sells, from my understanding. Yeah, if you're using it for, there you go. That's it. I missed that line. Oh boy, am I behind. Are you gonna go to bed? Okay, I figured, Diva, you needed the night off. Love ya. You were welcome up. Just always let me know. I just figured you needed rest tonight. I missed you though. I always love co-piloting with you. It's great. Have a good night. I hope your bread sales go awesome. Oh, his feed is advertising many $5,000 radios for many companies. Yeah. Uh, what is $5,000 radio? What the? Hold on. I'm having a hard time clicking and sharing. Oh, Mercury, you and I talked about it. I have my dad's book. I pulled it out. I have to go get it though. I would have to. I'm gonna share the link. Diva, if you don't go to sleep, you're more than welcome to come up. I'm gonna share the link for those who want to come up. Brenda, you're always welcome. And it really was about sharing like any Christmas memories that um just or holiday memories. It could be a different holiday that made you really happy. We were talking about our layout of food that our moms could do today, and oh, it made me miss her so much. The presents and all she would do, just unbelievable, wonderful. I've got some major. Let me see. I need to sign off. Also, I've got a major. Oh, well, prayers for your friend. You too. Be healthy and safe. Many blessings to you too, Morgan. Thank you so much for coming in, and it was nice learning more about you. It really was. And sometimes, just as humans, we have things in common. But boy, I don't have that linguist thing. And no, I think I had a processing issue because I saw it in big fruition with my daughter when she was younger. But now she's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Crafting, woodworking full the next 6 weeks or show shop was late. Oh, it was looking so much better from that picture you sent me. Yeah. I can't wait to get space like that. See, that's one of the reasons I would like to move is just to get a 2-car garage rather than our 1-car, because the 1-car can become like a storage unit. And that's kind of what ours turned into for a bit, especially when mom passed and we got all her stuff from storage into it. Oh, they're going into radio talk over in the side chat, out of my zone there when it comes to that. Oh, it's all chip. Kilometers range, talk to, but no fee. Oh, there's no antenna on it at all? Oh, weird. Oh, okay. I loved your spot with the paintbrushes and paint that you had that, yeah, area. Are you kidding me? I was actually looking on Amazon last night for a kit with just the acrylics and because some of my acrylics have seen better days. I even have them. Hold on, I'll pull the bag down. Let me take this off my head because I could, end up doing one of those things like a comedy skit. You know what? Let me just put this. Hold on. I'm gonna stop the camera for a second. I want to get the paint, but I also want to go get my dad's army book. Oops, almost left myself on mute. Okay, so some of my old ones. Oh, it is. Some of them are academia or academy or academia. Reading is good, but a lot of these have kind of gotten yuck, like dried out over the years that I've had them. And then I have the bottle kind. Oh, that's not my bottle pink. But to have it all in one spot with my paintbrushes, woo, I would love that. I do not have that. I need a spot like that in my life. I definitely need a spot like that so I can start painting again. Yes, we did. And I just bagged it because it's so old. And I don't know, I don't think it has it all in here. In fact, I found out that the belt, I think I told you this, the belt, the metal belt thing, it was from like the kids, like Kids in Satan's Service. It was the ones that were part of Hitler Youth. So I don't even know what to do with it. Oh, this I found. My dad is part of the Wall of Liberty. Somebody, I guess, I don't know if they got him put on there. Could have been my brother. But yeah, I have his old DD. I won't show that, but his enlisted record and report, separation, honorable discharge. It says European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, World War II Victory Medal, Army of Occupation Medal. He didn't have like a ton of medals. He was a staff sergeant. Um, I was looking, I was hoping this was the one that said he was in the supply NCO 821. That was his. And then it's all like his army buddies and stuff are in here. Just really all the trucks, the company trucks, Jeeps. In fact, that might, yep, that might be my dad. It's really hard to see because they're older pictures and then the faces are so small. But just some of the guys from World War II. up on the rooftops. It's a roof. He said, like you can see the roof behind them. This is my dad's family that he left behind. 4, 6, 8, 9. There's only 9 of them. There was 11. 9 are in this picture. Him and his brothers and sisters. But let me see. I don't think I have the one where he had gotten his stuff from the eagle's nest. This is a postcard. 18 June. Official. What is this? Not really sure. Oh, I guess this is saying, oh, it's his certification. Proficiency in driving. Types of vehicles listed below as per signed authorization. That's so cool. Car, half truck, truck, tractor, semi-trailer, trucks cargo up to a ton, and trucks cargo up to a ton. So I guess a Jeep. It was his permit. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I didn't see this before. My dad's permit of what he could drive. There we go. There's some handsome dudes. That was my dad's company, pretty sure. Hold on, I'll look at what you guys are saying just a second because I'm not really quite sure. Oh my goodness, and he was at Macon. They must have shipped him out to Macon, Georgia. Camp Wheeler, it says. Then this is when they discharged him. He got a booklet that says, at ease, you're a civilian now. Oh my goodness. This is about my father, my grandfather, my father's father. This is a picture of my grandfather and my grandmother. I think that's one of my aunts in the picture too. We were from Yorktown Heights. Yep. There's Lillian. I'm not really sure. I forget what that article is about. Yep. He was discharged as staff sergeant on August 16th, 1946 at Fort Dix, New Jersey. Doo-doo. Oh, here's what he got when he was up there. It was the company that took it, I believe. Did I do that right? Or is it 9 Company? I think, is it that way? It was the company that took the eagle's nest. And I could be saying like company wrong, all the terminology wrong. Because remember, my father didn't talk about this until he was like in his 80s because of probably, oh, wow. Yeah, Camp Wheeler. Here they are. All the men. Camp Wheeler. My dad went in late because he was the last son that was working in the farm. And finally, my grandfather worked him so hard that he was like, well, I'm just going to go off and see the world and join the army. Ah! Thank God protected him because, yeah. Oh, this must have been my dad overseas with a farm horse. I don't know if we can see it. My father loved horses, but not like loved them to keep them. He knew they were very expensive to keep, but he loved riding the farm horse when he was home. There's one of the Jeeps. I don't know if this was his or not. Let me see. Nope. This one was a Red Cross. Red Cross man and his Jeep. He was a pretty nice fellow. Gas cans in the back. Wow. Something about the gas distributed over here. That's what a Red Cross one looked like. You did from the eagle's nest? Wow. Yeah, my dad had some things like that was like the youth um, belt buckle, Hitler Youth belt buckle. He had that, the patch. Um, there's some other things. I'm not quite sure where I put those. There's the Army Star, the good old trucks. Here's the 2.5 ton GMC that I drove on a trip. They were going to pick up the gas, I guess, fill up all the gas cans and stuff for the company. Yep, looks like my dad right there. Which is in the which is in the worst shape. The truck, which is in the worst shape, the truck or me? My dad was a little bit of a jokester. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I didn't. What's funny is I don't see the Jeep on here, but I know, like, I have pictures of him with his Jeep. We have definitely stories of him in the Jeep. That's how he lost one of his stripes and then he gained it back later. Was he ran a colonel off the road when he was in his Jeep. I used to call him Moon. That was his nickname, so I can only imagine how he earned that. Because my dad was quite the jokester and entertainer on the farm to his siblings. He could do like circus tricks on the back of their farm horse to entertain his siblings because he was one of the older brothers. I think he was middle, but still older than a lot of his siblings. Half of them. If he was towards the middle. I'm trying to find him in his Jeep. Some of these are his buddies. It's so funny. I barely recognize my dad being that young, but this is my father. Taken it at the battalion by his friend Lucky. That's a young dad. Now look at that smile. Tell me, like, that's my, I have a combination, but that looks like definitely me. Like, can see my face in my dad's face there. Grandpa was in World War II. My dad, Vietnam, me, Iraq. Wow. So, do you think what's going on now is a roundabout way to finally go after Iran for making, putting together a nuclear weapon? I might get in trouble for saying that, but because I know there has been concerns about that for the nation. Israel is really concerned about Iran having a bunch of those nuclear warheads. Oh, the buildings are beautiful. Where's this one? This one's much thinner. Something. Oh, house we stayed in Ein something. Einbeck? I'm not really sure where the place was, but look how pretty the buildings were. The ones that survived, at least. There's a company picture of their trucks, but it's faded. This is so weird. The pictures are different. Like, this is actually like paper. I don't know if you're going to be able to. It's so faint. This company with their trucks. That was so important. They needed those guys. Just like we need the trucking industry now. All the supplies and everything. So necessary. My father wanted to be a pilot, but they were like, between his height and his eyesight, And I'm so glad that they denied him because a lot of the pilots didn't come home. Oh my goodness. Oh, this looks familiar. Hold on. Oh, he didn't write on the back. That just looks like a stop somewhere, and I don't know if anybody else will recognize something that looks like that. Like maybe it was a church that got hit. Anyway, but yeah, that was my dad's book. He had the stickers. I have to be careful because the little things are falling out of it, the corner holders, and I'm allergic to it too, slightly, because it's so old. Oh, this is a boat. I thought it was a sub at first. I'm not sure. Not sure what type of boat that is. There's a ship in the background and another boat out in the harbor. These he didn't write on the back. It's so helpful when he does. I'll show you my family military history lesson. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll have to look at main positions. I do. Yeah, okay. I get it. I get it. No. What the heck? I don't know what a popcorn box is. You squashed them? Oh, what do you mean you squashed them? Ooh, you squashed them, like squished them? Yeah, my dad ran a colonel off the road, and the colonel was so pissed that took my dad's stripe, demoted him. But he still got to drive, thankfully. Here's my dad. There he is. There's my dad at the camp, probably before they shipped out. So proud of my father. I adored my dad. I adored my mom too, but I was definitely more of a daddy's girl until the very end. And then he has his pictures of here's a better picture of him. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like his no, this is when they got home. Because it looks like he's got his stripe there. Unless he earned it there and then it was taken away when he did that thing with the colonel. And then he earned it back. It doesn't say on the back if this was Macon or not, where he was discharged. I don't know if these are his cows at home or if he took pictures of the farms over there. Because that was one thing my dad said was they were just German farm boys. He didn't refer to them as Nazis. Yeah, my dad was definitely an animal lover. I think that's where my daughter and I get it from. I'm so blessed to have this book. It probably should have gone to my brother, but I love this picture of my dad. It's got a little wear on it. It's got those marks. I love that picture. Oh, popcorn box. It's a joke. I didn't know if it stood for something or not. Like it was a nickname for something. Oh, duh. The Colonels. Oh my gosh. So did you actually run over them? Maybe you can sometime. If you have any of it, you can come up on panel and we could do that during like Veterans Day if you're able to do it. Oh, good night, Glenn. I'm sure you got a lot going on with the place you're working at and getting up early. Hopefully you'll get a day off tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sure that scared all of them. what was happening in their country. And that's how my father felt, like it wasn't their fault that what was going on up above them. And just like him, you know, they were sent to war, many of them. Many of them were, you know, farm boys like my daddy. I've got more things around, like where that the Hitler Youth belt buckle is. I had a few more things. But that was his book mostly. Oh, I didn't put these back. And now I think too they don't have a separate supply NCO anymore because I think I went to look it up. That they combined it with something else. But he went in late, thankfully. He did because of working the farm, or he might have saw a lot more action and I might not have been. You know, none of his kids might not have been. He would have died never being a father. But I feel for those young men that did. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my allergies, my throat burns from just going through that because it's so old. Mm. Oh, wow. Okay, Glenn. Have a good one. Yeah, you got to get all the fruit out. Vegetables, but really tomatoes are fruit. Gear, what's up, Gear? Good to see you. Yeah, everybody's heading to bed, but before everybody completely heads to bed, I found a cute ornament. And of course, now I don't have, let me see if I have a piece of wire because you need kind of something to. Oh, this one. Ugh. There we go. You make a little, if you have scraps of fabric like red and green. I started to do it like rotate the green and the red. And really, you should probably do the wire prior to starting. I'm going to tuck it in. Put like a wire up through because that's what you're going to use to hang it. Just a little homemade ornament, you know, and you use a cinnamon stick. Sometimes you can find them inexpensively, sometimes not so much. You can use a stick too that has a hole up the center. And what you do is you take fabric and you're tying it in knots all the way up. And it doesn't look like much, but what you end up doing is once you've tied all of it and filled it, you know, add a little piece of glue so it doesn't slide back down. But you cut it into a Christmas tree and it becomes like a little Christmas tree out of all your fabric scraps. And you have like a little homemade ornament. I thought that was such a cute idea. I love that because I inherit, you know, I have my mother's, some of her fabric because she was a quilter. You just cut the fabric into strips and tie knots and then basically cut it into a Christmas tree shape, which I haven't finished this one. But I wanted to show you guys the basic idea for crafters, or, you know, you're looking for something to do with the kids, you know, that's not, you know, involving the computers or watching Christmas movies, but hands-on. It's just a cute and inexpensive. So you kind of keep going and you, yeah, cut it with the angle and angle it. And then what you can do is put a button at the top or a bead that's shaped like a star, or even just a little button that's pretty at the top for the top of it. I love mango. I love fresh mango. It's one of my favorites in the world. Let me see. What did it say? Been in bed by this time mostly the past week or so. Oh, wow. Where did mango and booze come out? Oh, mango time. Mango. Sounds so good. I can't believe it's mango season there right now. Oh, does she? Well, then you can show her that one and maybe tell her. I don't know if you were here because you're the stars I think were bothering you last time, but I showed how to make that wreath. It's on my Christmas tree now, but it's out of beads. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that's what Passamaquoddy is our crocheter. She crochets a lot. Carol said computers and ooh, that is creepy. Well, they're definitely listening because it's amazing what I things that get suggested to me. Um, is crazy. Like after alive. And I know it happens to other people. I bet you're in heaven with all the fruit and the brown ladies. Mm-hmm. Get any jackfruit yet, Bob? Is it jackfruit season over there? I can't wait to see if my tree will actually put on a jackfruit or two this next season. I'm excited about that. The one thing too, I've got to shock, I think, put my soursop into shock to see if I can get it to produce flowers. Oh, it's not yet. Oh. Oh, nice. Pretty soon you'll do that. Yeah, that's what Bob is kind of doing. I don't know that long because his wife is still not retired, but yeah, they get to go back and forth. It just seems like such a, yeah, that seems wonderful. Yeah, they do. They listen to us. It's really freaky. But of course, then when you want to say something and have them do it, they act dumb. Like they don't understand what you're saying. Hmm. Oh, you haven't had it yet. Okay, it is in season. It usually is when mangoes are in season, jackfruit's in season here. There you go. Yeah, I go to do lookups. My phone's going off because it's my camera of my daughter going outside with the dog. We need to put I need to put up another camera. I love these cameras that you can kind of uh, control. I didn't realize it's so windy out right now. That was my phone. You probably didn't hear it because of my headset, but it was blowing. Here, wait a minute. Let me play it over again. Let's see if it'll. No, of course it's not going to play now. Play. There. You can hear that. That's blowing into the outside mic on the camera. That's awesome. Yeah, I need more. I'm disappointed in the doorbell one that I can't and only get. It's basically only motion activated. It's not, you can get in and kind of use it and look out, which I thought it was. I thought it was Wi-Fi enabled to where I could go into it like I can go into this one and go the camera can go live and I can pivot and look. I love that. So I'm going to put up another one or two of those on different angles. Our problem is we're on a zero lot line, so I can't really put one, in my neighbor's backyard. That's kind of weird. But I still have view of their backyard because I have to have view of that fence line because their son hops. In fact, today he hopped again. He's going off some kind of medication and she couldn't hold him and he hopped. But she coaxed him back over and then she has family members, so the family member took him. Yeah, the ones in the house, I'm not really sure how to like set those up to where they wouldn't feel like invasive. Like because if they're Wi-Fi enabled, I worry about somebody hacking the ones that are on the interior of the house. Do you hardwire them for that purpose so people can't hack into them? Because I don't know if you remember that there were Wi-Fi enabled, baby monitors, and people were hacking those and terrorizing the kids. Yeah, not recording, nothing. Okay. Yeah. Ours that's the only thing about ours is ours are Wi-Fi enabled, and I mean, we have a secure Wi-Fi, but it's still always that concern. I would love to have hardwired, but that's another expense. Right now, we're looking at the panel replacement and the refrigerator. Oh, man, because we pay off our Visa, we just watched, like, our savings go down by, like, $6,000 with all the stuff that went on it last month, including the new fridge and microwave. And if we were made of money, I would have got the matching oven, but gonna wait. But thank God we waited because then all of a sudden we heard about this panel replacement we have to do. Yeah, I know that's what I'm concerned about on the inside. I need to get direct or hardwired. Yeah, that's the one I have, Storms is solar out back. That one is solar, and then I'd like the other solar down the side. But again, they're Wi-Fi. But I'm hoping we're not gonna stay here, but I just don't know. I keep asking God, like, what's the right thing to do? Because it just seems like there's no really safe place anymore. And there just seems to be such widespread division. Just don't know. And my husband's job is here, and it's not with a company that is, up north. So I'm so torn. But we bought this house as a foreclosure, and right now the equity in it, we could pretty much pay off a lower end home. Like, the homes are going up so fast. It's unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. We really want to have a home where we really don't have much of a mortgage to the point where he could just go be a Walmart greeter and we would be okay. But I just don't know if that's just dreaming. Because also we'll need vehicles, so it's not like he could be just a Walmart greeter. Yep, it is. Yeah. It's funny because I was just talking to actually Janet. Janet reached out and was asking me if I was going to have Fri-Yay or not. Um, and I was saying that I was like, because she said about home ownership, her and I were agreeing, like, home ownership sometimes it's just one project after the other, and how I would love to just rent for a year and not have any projects, but then you've got to store all your stuff. I would have to be a minimalist to do it, and I'm not. I'm a maximalist at this moment. I'm really just like one classification away from looking like a hoarder, honestly, because of the double whammy with getting all mom's stuff, where it's a blessing, but it's also a curse of just so much to go through. It makes me feel better though, and I've done my daytime lives, and people have come in and talked about losing a parent and how they have boxes that they still haven't gone through, and it's been years. And it's like, yeah, I can't do that because there's so many boxes. Because it's a blessing too that my dad always loved to take pictures, and um He recorded like he had the old VCR, uh, VHS camera or whatever, the big one, the big thing. Yeah, he would take it on our trips and stuff. So we have VHSs too that I need to look through. I even have 8 millimeter film that I haven't gotten to get out. I would love to with the projector and just watch those. So it's like a blessing and a curse because I have all of it. And I would like to eventually send some of it to my sisters and stuff, but I have one that if you open that door and the foot goes in that door, it will just never close. It yeah, they'll just expect more and more from you. And that's the sister that basically, my mom raised my nephews, so there's just this expectation of everything should belong to her because of birthright, but she already got it because my parents raised her kids. Yeah, Bob calls himself basically he's a survivalist, and I think that's a better word for it. I'm not necessarily a prepper either. I'm definitely not a minimalist. Oh, awesome. Hey, Berta Bob, you've been in the background. Good to see you. Yeah, I'd really like hardwire and battery backup. That's something to aim for sure. Oh, night, Brenda. Good night, hon. I hope you get some rest. I know you have to keep the house fired up and warm. Hope you get some good sleep. Good to see you, Bruta Bob. I know. It's kind of cool. Oh, thank you. Appreciate having the extra listening ears. Uh, I'm going close to, I'm almost ready. 12 more minutes. Nope, 11. And I'll hit 2 hours and then I'm going to probably call it a night. Yeah, I need to get, you know, that's one thing I've been talking to my husband about, just planning, where we didn't have parents that planned, you know. So planning is not like something even for us is easy. Like I even remember when for him at work and even for me at work where they're like, "Well, what are your goals for this year?" And it was like, "What? How do you what do you mean?" My goals, survive. Survive this year. Isn't that a goal? Like we didn't learn that stuff growing up. We learned survive pretty much. But yeah, we just even talking about our own stuff and it's like we still have so much to do. You're not here? Okay. Yeah, me too. It is so important, especially when we have children that are special needs. And I said that to Theron, like once Malachi ages out of the system, then what if something happens to us? My daughter, there's no way she can pick up the care of him if he's going to be still as severely disabled. It's just, there's no way. I know. Okay. Understood. That's right. Shh. There you go. Me too. Me too. I try to make plans and, like it says, I think men plan and God laughs. Probably Q. That's usually what he is. Not necessarily in bed, but he's usually the other. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I I don't know. But yeah, I've just been looking back and thinking of those Christmas meals. My mom, like, do you guys have any favorite meal that was yours like during the holidays? Oh, happy holidays to you too, Misha. Merry Christmas. I know you celebrate Christmas, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I meant to tell you guys, our blue and white lights went back up in front of our HOA and they look even better. They must have hired somebody. I still have no idea what happened to the originals. Yeah, right. I know. I must be like a really good joke when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, okay, Carol, sure. Hee hee hee. God just wants to keep certain people humble, I guess. And maybe we would get too like self-sufficient, you know, and forget him. So he humbles those that he wants close to him, maybe. I don't know. Because it's funny because it's like people get competitive and it's like, sure, I'll compete with you. And God's like, no, you won't. That's not what this is about. And that's not your character. And we're not doing that. That's selfish ambition. And you need to just take a chill. It's like, okay, you're right. Because where selfish ambition is, it's like every evil work is basically lurking there. That's good to have you guys in. Thank you. That's nice. What do they like? Like, I know they have, it's like a spring roll that they make that lumpia that everybody seems to want the recipe to. That's supposed to be delicious. Any more humble, calm, gentle? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's nothing wrong with being kind and gentle to, each other. That's my concern. Let's see. Yeah, that's really hard. Yeah, you really are in a hard position. Okay. Do they make that, it's like a dessert mercury that I've seen. Bob showed me a video of a girl making it, and it was basically they use, cooking bananas, and they also, while they're steaming those, they steam a, true yam, like a purple yam, which is more kinda like a potato. Um The girl, was out in the country, so she ate the yam while she's continuing to make these. She takes the yam out early and she ate that. But, they steam these bananas in the skin. It's the wildest thing because the skin is green, it turns yellow while it steams. Then they mash it all together, add condensed milk, I think it is, and they add sugar. Yeah, the ube. I have an ube. I'm growing them. Oh, these are the names of the culinary dishes. Lumpia, sisig, pancetta. I've heard of pancetta. Bob's talked about that. Puto. Puto is really bad if you say that here in Spanish. So it's a dish over in the Philippines. Okay. I would like to know like what's in them. Yep, ube. I have an ube actually growing up my tree in the backyard right now. Oh gosh. Bob likes it. He almost ate one in front of us one night. Yeah, I have one that is like that. I have one that's a dual purpose banana, and, you can cook it while it's green. Treat it like a plantain, or you wait for it to ripen. They get really kinda ugly when they ripen, though, but then when they're ripe, they kinda have a, citrus banana flavor. Like, there's a little tang, like lemon maybe. It's really light, but the flavor is really interesting. It's good. They're delicious. It's just sometimes they turn out really well, and other times if it's too dry a season and I wasn't giving it enough water, you'll end up with, like, the string down the center, and it's not as, banana-like. Puto's a steamed rice flour pasty with cheese. Okay. Oh, is hi, Paint. Hi, baby. Hi, sweetheart. That was Paint. You're so pretty. I always forget. Is Paint a girl or a boy? Storms. Oh, it's like a pastry. Oh, okay. That's even funnier though. What the word what puto means. You said pasties? Nothing like American cheese for pasties. Oh, she is. Okay. Good girl. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Pink. You're so pretty, pretty girl. Tonight we went through PetSmart and we saw this bulldog. It was like this wide at its backside because I got to scratch it. Oh, I wanted to smush its face. It was such a beautiful bulldog. They won't call it that. Yeah, because it doesn't. Yeah, too funny. What's weird though is they have like I thought they had like a Spaniard influence in the Philippines. So it's kind of odd that the dish is called that. Yeah, I know, right? Oops. Oh, I almost put you in timeout. What? Yeah, not the dog butts, the face. I wanted to smush the face and kiss it. No, I was squeezing the wholeness, the big chunk, and then scratching its rear, but not the real rear, the back area on his back. Because some dogs will like dance. It's just so cute. I don't smooch dog butt. You're gross. Or when you put True. That's true. Oh, did you? Can't wait to see it. And of course, I don't know what is going on with my facial recognition lately. Oh, there she is. Hi, Paint. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. There's Paint watching me. That's adorable, Barry. That is so cute. That really makes me want a cat. So makes me want a cat. I was talking to Abe like through Messenger about I just dropped him a message about like how much of a sacrifice people don't realize it was for the Boston Tea Party to dump all that tea that was coming from England because we had English settlers here and the English are very serious about their tea. And Abe will tell you they are. And I was like, I never realized like what that really, you know, was like until I thought about it more about how much he loves his English tea and has talked about it, a good cup of English tea, and they just dumped it all after it made it to America. Like, yeah, wouldn't your fellow other folks not in on the mentality of why we're doing this want to strangle you? Oh, is she purring? Oh, sweet girl. I've had a lot of cats just like choose me. It's really weird. People have a cat and they'll be like, oh, they're not nice. They walk up and they just like will brush against my leg and want my attention. I just feel so blessed by that. What is it? Does that right before he bites you? Yeah, you make me not want a chihuahua ever. Your chihuahua makes me never want a chihuahua. Oh my gosh. Balut would have been a good appetizer. See, if you're going to eat the bones, then why not just eat the whole shell? Just you don't even have to look at it. Just yeah. Mm-mm. No, I'm not an owl. I do not eat things with bones in them and poop out the bones. Oh, good night, honey. I love you. Yeah, that's not for me either, Brittle Bob. But I'll tell you what, if I was in the jungle and needed to be a warrior of that definition of a warrior, yeah, I would hope that I could eat, raw frogs like I've seen some of these people who live in the jungles of certain countries. One guy just like ate a living frog. He was one of the native people that you see the videos where they're digging these houses into the ground because the clay is like so compacted in that country that they can carve into it and create like pools. And then they carve out little areas where they could sleep, and it's like an under ground little house that they create. Oh my gosh. You don't toss your chick. That doesn't sound right. I can't even say that out loud. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever make it to that level. Mm-mm. No. I wish I would. Maybe when I was younger. I wish. I wish. Although I think she was he a lesbian? I'm not really sure because I don't bat that way. I'm not on that team. I don't have any problem with them. I'm just saying I'm not on that team. I like my husband. If you ever make it to the Philippines, go to Fort Santiago and Manila. Huge Spanish. Ooh, okay. I would love to travel, but at the same time, I'm just at my age now, I just get nervous because I have so many reactions to so much. So I'm now sure Sierra's causing me. Yeah, right. This is food karma from CR. That's hilarious. Where is he? That's right. Top two culinars in history of America is blamed. Yeah. Yes, this is true. This is true. We are quite well, that's the same thing with who they kick out. When they talk about colonizers, if you look in countries that who they kick out, it's mostly in Muslim countries, the Jewish and Christian populations are the ones most removed. Doesn't matter where you come from. Yeah, right. Yes, you do. You have that special teaspoon. I'm still looking for mine that I can carry in my purse. She did have a thing, right? She went through. Maybe it was like her going to college. Like that's where it seems to happen in, American culture. I mean, now it happens all the time, but it was like when it was my age group, it was like, well, there was that. Not with me, but I'm just saying, like, oh, there was that one girl in college, the experimental stage. Oh, really? Well, probably because there's not a lot of preservatives or really any preservatives in their food. And they have too. They have a Chinese influence too that Bob has talked about. And yeah, hopefully that's all backtracking because I know we expected them to take a certain country and now it seems like that's on the down low. So hopefully they'll leave the Philippines alone too. Yes, you would be unalived. If he saw that tea come in back then and you just tossed it all, or he would dive in maybe. I don't know. No, I'm 53. I'm 53. Who said your age group? Me? I'm 53. I graduated 88, really 89 because I took a missionary mission trip and I was supposed to go to summer school. Yeah, all the local. Okay. I would love to visit Japan. My brother just got to go, but they don't have any children. They have the two incomes, no children. I think yesterday and the day before. Oh, it was his CR. Okay. I didn't see his lives go up. I know my sleep out. Yeah, mine are too. Whoops. I didn't mean to highlight that one. Yeah, mine are off too. Because if Theron's staying home, then I know I've got him there with, Malachi. And also just like the stress of all the stuff we've been having to take care of. I, I'm all kinds of whacked out. Tomorrow's going to be hard because he's going to work, and Malachi is on this kick where he wants to wake up early and, spend it with daddy. Oh, I think it's also the way this thing filters a bit. It filters the picture, so it gives me a little bit younger appearance. But thank you. Wow, 36. I love you. I wish I could be 36 again. Even then, I was like feeling like I was old. I remember, and I say it like this, waking up at 30. I remember turning 30 and feeling like I woke up. Like, where did my 20s go? Where have I been all my life? Like, I graduated school because I feel like I'm just waking up and seeing the world and for how it is. Yeah, I'm young at heart. Yeah, I'm a little bit, let's, I think I took it into my 50s even that I just thought you could be friends with everybody. And, that just doesn't happen. Sadly, you can't. Some people are not trustworthy. Others are not empathetic, but they act like they are. Um, Others will, of course, use you. Have like a kind of naiveness to myself. Yeah, I am too. I mean, goodness, I'm 53 and all the stupid stuff I did though I was younger and just also becoming like a Florida certified teacher and holding that for like 20 years, my certificates. But I didn't get to teach in the classroom for that many years. Only had like 9 years in the classroom with kids. Um, it also could be because I say a lot. 9 years in the classroom with kids, homeschooled. Now I'm homeschooling special needs. Hannah was sort of like high functioning special needs. She wasn't talking, so I did that. So I really should have on my certificate if they would give you, you know, credit for like, and so should Q. Q should have like an ESC degree. If they would give you credit for what you've actually done in your life, I would have a double, like ESE, like a double specialty, ESE and art. But art, you're certified K through 12th when you go and get the certification. You go and take the state test, and then you take your subject area test. Yeah, I'm not. See, when certain people are so controlling, I can't. I start to do that, and they get so like they can't handle it, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. I can't deal. Oh wow, yeah. I, I want to do that with Malachi, but at the same And since it's like you've gotta have the right person coming into your home doing that with your kid. It could go so wrong. When we were looking for speech therapists for my daughter. Oh, thank you. With me? Thanks. Um, when we were looking for speech therapists for my daughter. Oh, such a pain. They were doing the exact same things I was doing with her when I would take them in, and they would just read books and then basically, I can't say basically, oh my gosh, that's my adjective. They would, I was making felt boards for her of the story and making the story come more to life and using it to teach her language. Well, I go in there and that's the first thing they start doing. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm already doing that. And I'm going to be paying you all this money because it was out of pocket back then to do the same thing I'm doing. And the girl was talking, hi, hi, Hannah, super low, barely articulating. And I was like, nope, I need her to speak up so I can hear her. She still has a quiet voice. We're both that way. Yeah, only on. That's the problem. It's only on. And imagination. Feelings, emotions, and imagination. And it should be accepted. It's like, okay, but there's more, there's logic, reason, wisdom, facts. It's so, right? It's so hard. And then with his disability, I just don't know. He just didn't make the progress. Like, even with a great OT, he had a wonderful OT. But even now, like, she was doing circle stop with him for circles and trying to get him to do, the lines and the crossover, like just to do an H. And his writing really has not progressed more than that. Like, he just doesn't get the concept to stop and to copy down. Like, is Essie able to write? Like, do they have her writing in school? Yeah, I want to be a rainbow pony that's extremely rich and can drive a Ferrari. That's what I'd like to identify as. Somebody with a loaded bank account that do whatever they want. Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's impressive. I'm always surprised at our soldiers that are able to come back though and be police officers and firefighters because it's like trauma upon trauma. I dated a firefighter almost 3. It was a solid 2 years, really 3, um, because there was breakups in there, and then finally I just broke it off. But, the stuff they see, I saw a video one time of a training, and cracking jokes and picking up people parts from a car that had flipped over. I think it was actually even a, I can't think of it, convertible that had flipped on, like, 95 or one of the interstates. It's a very Yeah. Well, at least she's writing, though. At least she's writing. He's not grabbing the concept of writing, which concerns me. He's finally starting to say things, though, at the right times. Like, um, but it's not consistent enough to where it's really he's carrying on conversation. But he's definitely trying to communicate and he's saying little things that are definitely appropriate for what is going on. He's being more in context here and there. Like, but it's just a little phrase or 2 words together, that we haven't really seen him put together before. So that is where it's like, yay! But writing, no, it's not there. Let me see. I identify as a gray-haired old man that loves his family. What you do, you do, and you come off that way. But I don't know about your gray hair, you know, but you definitely come off that way. Hmm. Well, if it's hard to tell and it re-traumatizes you, then tell it when you're ready. Yeah, we don't understand military slang and your language for things. That's true. Like one Bob, and just even sometimes how you guys express, like how I guess Bob calls you guys GIs, how you guys express yourselves. And Bob would say that, like, oh, I understand him because we're both GIs. And it was like, oh, okay, like I'm not going to understand that because I didn't serve, you know. God bless the women that do, but I was able to go to college and I just never had that in my heart to go into the military. In fact, my growing up, I grew up in a house that was, you know, my parents were Democrats and we weren't anti-gun, but my dad just after the army days didn't keep a weapon. We didn't have that. I didn't grow up with that. I didn't learn how to shoot until I went out and shot skeet when I was maybe about 16 and learned how to shoot a rifle and a shotgun that day. And it was like a youth group event. Yeah. Yeah. Malachi can read some words, but he doesn't totally comprehend the words. Of course, if they're animals or things like that, you know, he does. But yeah, no. Yeah, you put gray. No, mine's thinning too. I've got this one area here, but my mom's hairline went back like that. Oh, oh, I never even finished. My one memory, my mom one time always made great, like we always had ham on Christmas. And one year my mom decided to do, I think it was the crown roast. Like we had beef. We'd never had it. And she was just so floored about how much fat was in it. And she kept talking about that. It was good. I mean, it was delicious. But she had made like this crab, I think it's called crab luby salad. And it had like crab and shrimp in it. And it had like this ketchup mayo based dressing. It was just such a departure from our traditional, but it was so good. She like wanted to go and above and beyond for her family and do something special that Christmas, and it really was. But just one thing will always stick with me is my mom's gravy, her turkey gravy, and just how she did everything, like the cookies and the wrapping of all the gifts. And yeah, I don't think we comprehend until we're adults how much like that adult, your parent, did or did not do for you. Oh, can I can I ask why the reluctance? Is it are you like is it trauma or are you afraid maybe of outside judgment? Because you don't come off as somebody who would be concerned with other people's judgment. Dang, dude, how did you have that much time in for both? All three? Okay, bro Bob, are you like 100? You have like three lifetimes right there. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that stinks, Barry. That's true, it might have been a blessing. Yeah, my dad's mine too. He although how he kept our house going and basically fixed everything just like you would do on a farm. Very rarely hired people in to fix things. You know, I think we had to have roofers in and they still didn't get it straight because we had a weird roof line um at our house. The house was like an L shape, so it had this strange roof line where it created almost like a gutter effect between the two roof lines right onto a flat surface that was our patio roof line. And I understood why my dad never liked roofs that were all cut up because just his was kind of simple cuts, but it created that groove that would constantly cause a problem on that flat roof. And eventually, like when we had to have the house re-roofed, I think it finally got fixed. However, they did the transition. Yeah, much definitely. Total props to Brutal Bob for all that service. Thank you, Brutal Bob. And thanks, Mercury. That's incredible. But yeah, I would hope you guys can tell your story. Yeah, for sure. And especially in those professions. Like, especially. We almost, we were like at first going into Ulta tonight. I had to pick up a couple things because it's right next to them, our Marshalls. And, you know, Ulta has, it's a girly, kind of girly store. But they still have like all shampoos and stuff, so guys can go in there too. But usually a guy goes in there, he's going in there with a girl because it's a lot of makeup and perfume. And then there's like a salon in the back. But we were walking by it to put some things in the car and gonna go back in, and there was like four cops inside the entrance. And it's like at first you're like, well, what the heck happened? But they're all laughing and smiling. And so, and people are still buying things in the store. So you're like, maybe it was just shoplifting. Um, you know, somebody grabbed something and ran out. But because of their demeanor, you didn't think twice about, okay, it's okay to go in there because the cops are relaxed and whatever was there is done now. I get like we have multiple careers, but that many years in both, I was confused. And then 3 tours in the Marines. I was like, wow, you made the most out of it, man. Okay. 72 years young. That's so cool. An MF or firefighter? What kind of I'm sorry. Is that like above sergeant? I'm so sorry. Yeah, you guys are both in the field of public safety. Oh yeah, no, thank you. Mm, mm, nope, nope. An evidence? No. Yeah, that's woo. Even geared left. That's okay. Just like you said, like if we're not in this service or, you know, even service to our community, some of the I'm still laughing. That's gotta be above. I know. Oh my gosh. I'm an MF or firefighter. I wish I would have went. Medical first responder. That's rough. You guys see some terrible stuff because of being medical first responders on accidents. Mm-mm-mm-mm. No, that's funny. That they have that gene too that looks like mother effer. Like if you have it, you don't process vitamin B12, right? And it cracks me up every time I'm reading something about like metabolic issues and adrenal fatigue and B vitamins, and then we might have the genetic anomaly of MFR. Yeah, it is an MFR to have that when your body won't absorb B vitamins correctly. It really screws up your system. I definitely think I have it for sure. It's MFR, but I couldn't help it. I think we've if you've lived in Florida, you've definitely been called an MFR at one time or another on the roads down here because it's so bad. Oh my goodness. They're actually putting into law that the left lane, that one on 95 and the interstate is a pass only lane. And then they're giving it also, which I agree, they're giving it to like first responders and trucks. However, it's going to make our traffic even like worse. It putting the trucks all the way over there. Yes, you do. True. Yeah, law enforcement sees it too. I know. That's why you guys are all friends because it's like you can relate. You see all the crazy and then all the horror of our communities. That was one thing. My neighbors got serious about their son who kept jumping the fence after I actually called the non-emergency number one night and had them come out and check the perimeter because it sounded like somebody was shaking our back gate, and they even had video, like they were coming by and shaking it, and I think it was Marvin at one time. Oh, sorry. I think it was him getting out and shaking it, and then the other times we might have had possums and the dogs were like jumping on the fence, so it was very hard to tell which, but they saw the LEOs come over and they finally cracked down and got the family involved to help them with their son because they should have maybe done that a while ago. But I love them. I love my neighbors. It's just they weren't handling the situation well. And he's been absconding since he was young. And it used to actually drive my other neighbor who moved away crazy. She hated them because of it. She really had an issue with them because she couldn't understand it. I bet you had fun calling him that. Oh, in Vietnamese too. Now, in Vietnam, did you guys bend the bottle caps? Like, were they reusing the bottles over there? I heard that there was like, I don't know if it was in Vietnam, but it was some other Asian country where they would have the bar and the GIs would go in and get their drinks, their beers, and they learned that they were refilling the like reusing the bottles. And who knows if they how much they were cleaning them, reusing the bottles and then pounding the caps back on them and giving them back to the GIs with tap beer in that. And so the GIs caught on and they started bending the bottle caps and inserting them into the beers themselves. If you recall, AM for sticky free. Yeah. When I was dating that firefighter, there was one guy, and it was sad actually. He was married, but who he was choosing to cheat on his wife with, he was a young guy. I was in my 20s. The guy had to be older 20s or early 30s, and he was dating like 65-year-old women, like cougars. And he had like one cougar one time when I was over there eating like dinner with my boyfriend. She was there, and like the guys were talking behind his back, like, what the hell is wrong with him? I bet. Yep. So you know. Yeah. Get some freaky freakies. Even Bob said that in the service. He gets some real freaks that are assigned to your company. You have to watch your back. Oh, wow. That's good money. He became a captain. My ex did too. Like $100,000 a year. I wanted to vomit because, like, he definitely didn't need to rise up that much, but I knew he would, you know. But yeah, talk about a planner with money. That was one thing he had. Too bad he was a man whore. He had so much going for him. My brother went, and one of the things he was looking forward to was actually trying dog when he was in Vietnam with his wife. Yeah, we don't blame you there, Q, for not keeping that last name. Yes, I agree. I was never near a CUC. That's what the boys were like me. I can't remember, Bob. I have to look through my emails because I know there's some people on here that I was blamed about looking up people, but I looked it up for this other person, and she was the one who taught me that you can look people up by their phone number and find out all kinds of interesting things about them. But I had only looked up one person who was going around all of YouTube claiming they were going to lose their farm, and come to find out, no, they weren't. They were already on a payment plan, and the taxes were not. That wasn't going to happen. But suddenly they ended up with a new camera set up, a drone, things like that after. It was just quite interesting. There, I took a picture, that's all I remember, and look it up. You're too cool for school, though, Bruno. I do know some of your story. It's pretty amazing. Oh, you say a Jacques. Oh, okay. Yeah, that stinks. I know. What is up with that? Is it because they're firefighters and they just think they're hot crap? But then again, too, they've got women who think they're wonderful and flirting with them all the time. I want some rice. I want some egg rolls and I can't eat them unless they're gluten free. And I can't eat soy sauce anymore because it messes with my hormones. Carney, not cheating. Some of us don't cheat. Mm, it is. That's what I've heard. I just am not the traveling type because I tend to, I think, get anxious and it drops my immunity and then I catch stuff while I'm away or, yeah. I was very fortunate going like all those trips to PA. Wow. And you loved it there. I remember you saying that. And you shared with us that one night about your first wife passing. How hard that would be for a young person because you were still young, right? I think when that happened. but you loved it there. You enjoyed the life. So I hope you get to return to that more simple life, more self-sustaining life there. To you ladies wanted me about. Good. Yeah. For men, it's not the best. And also, too, it's just so modified now. A lot of it's really genetically modified, but then they modify it further. That's the same thing with our flowers. Our flowers no longer contain the germ and all the good stuff in them that help you digest the flower. That's why Q and I want to grind my own flowers and use them. That's why Q does it, because it has the germ in it when you grind it, and it has all the essential amino acids in it, and your body processes it totally different. I just hope that I don't have the celiac gene, and that's why I'm having issues. I had a half brother that he was celiac. They called them banana babies back in the day. I've been there a couple times. Yes. So he wasn't taught, yeah, to stay faithful. Hey, WT. Great to see you, man. And helping fellow human. Oh, oh gosh. Yeah. Yes, they are. You want to go home and just hug your babies when you go on things like that. That was one thing talking to an LEO when I met my husband actually on a street evangelism ministry when I was in my 20s, because I wanted everybody to know about Jesus. I still do, you know. It's still up to you what you do with, what your ride will be like with him or without him. But talking to one of our friends talked to an LEO, and it was the children that it was so hard for him to have faith because of all he saw that happened to kids. And my heart still remembers them. Still pray for him. Pray for the, first responders that see those things that happen to children that nobody should have to see. It's great to see you, WD. I don't think I've ever seen that one. Leave the world behind. Huh. I'll have to check it out. Oh crap. The ending sucks. We've got on demand stuff with this new uh it's not cable. Forget what it's called. Yes, your wife is beautiful. And I love that short where she's just hugging your grandchild. It is the sweetest thing. It is just, I love heartwarming stuff like that on YouTube. I like so pure and heartwarming. And we need more of that because there's so much of the opposite on YouTube. And it's like some of us go to YouTube to get away from all the mainstream media. And then there's channels that it's like they act like they're giving you the news that is different, but a lot of it is ripped off from mainstream media. So it creates that same anxiety for some of us who kind of don't do that, don't listen to a lot of that. I'm a child pastor. Mm, God bless you. Oh, I'll be darned. Really? Wow. I love that. Like you said. Oh, it's a new release. They do have some new releases, but of course you pay. Um, they bring some, it's like in theaters, and they have some of the new releases on this. Oh, it's on Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I got rid of Netflix when they had the kiddie show that was kind of sexualized. Oh, uh-oh. There you go. There's an honest review. Tian always says it like it is. Oh, it's that one? I think they had uh I think on YouTube they had reviews about it and some of the hidden meanings in it. Even just watching videos like I mean watching movies like we never got to see Aquaman. We watched Aquaman. We watched what was the other one? Uh the DC Comics one where they revived Superman, like the Christology in that. It's just really weird, like how there's kind of like that storyline within it, but it's really anti-Christos. Tell us how it really is. Hold, don't hold anything back, Tian. Let us know. So it, so you like okay, watched it 3 nights ago, and you felt robbed of your time. I'm thinking is what it is. You felt robbed of your time. It's a good thing to let everyone know not to be robbed of time. Time is precious. Yep. Amen. He sure is. So yeah, that I will always remember that story. Um, it was one of our fellow street evangelists, and his name was Mark. And I remember he was in tears because of the stories that this man really needed to get off his chest and he really needed to talk about. And it broke Mark's heart to hear it because Mark was like a 20 something. And here we are still like, we're invincible. And he, sat with this man, and the man just kind of poured out his heart and said why he was struggling with his faith and struggling with believing in God because of just the tragedies that happened here and that he's been witness to. And yeah, I'll always remember that. Um, him relaying that. Also, we'll always remember being at the Fort Lauderdale boat show. I am telling you the truth. Got within 5 feet of this one guy, me and my partner, because you always go out in twos. 5 feet. He didn't even see us. Voice came out of him, "Get away from me." We just kind of prayed away from him because it was not him. So we just like basically prayed for him, and he was over kind of in a dark area, and we're like, yeah, we're young Christians and we're not there yet, and he has to be willing. So yeah, interesting stuff. Oh, I love that. I watched that too. That was a good movie, wasn't it? And those were really, really creepy, but it was based on like the seven deadly sins. So it was interesting in that way. Like that it's kind of like a real kind of brought in like a spiritual battle. And even that has like Christian undertones to be like a child. Jesus said, "Let the children come unto me." And he makes the children all the superheroes. But Shazam, I even love that that's what they say. It's so funny. Shazam! It reminds me of like when I would watch Wonder Woman young and spin as a little girl and just hope like, okay, when do I turn into Wonder Woman? When does it happen for me? Like how many little kids might have wanted that and went around saying Shazam. Reviews and such. The producer that wow. He did. Well, there's some stuff out from The Economist, like the drawings, and then you cross that over with that occult thing that they put out with I Pet Goat. Like he's in this boat in hell, and he's got like pride on the boat, and the basically evil one breathes out, and out comes the Antichrist in a boat. So it was really weird that, yeah, I believe it I believe it. I won't put that in my brain. Nope. 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 Maybe I'll watch the movie just to see what the underlying meaning is, or maybe I'll just watch some really in-depth reviews by other Christians. Okay. Whatever you're comfortable with. To tell your story, you mean? I'm non-denominational Christian. It's basically how I grew up. But it's funny how the non-denominational churches like still lean towards certain denominations. So the first one I went to leaned towards Baptist. That was when I was younger. And then in my 20s, I went to one that leaned towards Presbyterian that unfortunately eventually became more of like that whole mega church, very seeker oriented, not really for the um, as much about the body of Christ. And I mean, it was very much they do discipleship and everything else, but it was too much of the world entered in, we'll just say, and the pastor ended up falling. And it was a very great fall because it was a very, very large mega church down here. We left though before. Oh, wow. Okay. I totally believe in that. Um, what the first place we went to had when I was young, they split because some of the families wanted more of the Pentecostal and to see more of the gifts in the small church. And what's crazy is it was a Church of God and it was affiliated with more of a Pentecostal movement, but then the other half didn't, and the other half, I guess, was on the board of that church, and they won out, and the people who had believed in the gifts of the Holy Spirit and wanted to see them in the church being used, they kind of left and went for a church. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. I hope you feel better. Dear God, please help Brittle Bob with his lymphoma. I hope it goes down and you give him peace tonight and no pain. Yes, Tien? Ah, yeah. Well, the daughter I spoke about, she went through Catholic schools, and I have to say Catholic schools are some of the best academically that you can go to. She really got a good education, but she's putting our grandsons all into the Catholic schools too. Um, I'll say they give a good education. That's pretty much it. But we are Protestant, and then now our grandchildren are being raised Catholic. So, but yeah, we wow, you're a mixed bunch, aren't you? Brethren, what's brethren? Yeah, the very early days of Assembly of God was what this small church was, but for some reason they were like a divided. It was sad. It was divided. It was sad. But I'm just wondering what brethren is because they call the Quakers, don't they call Quakers the brethren? Because my family, that was my dad's side. My grandfather was the caretaker basically of the Quaker church and always there. He was probably an elder. You might be surprised at this. I volunteer to take seat. I am. But I know that you're open to a lot of wisdom. So hopefully you'll find some wisdom there too. I know you're academic and you want to know, but that sounds beautiful. I think, I don't know if I went when I was younger because my grandmother was Catholic. Um, but it was more like we would call them C&E Christians, and we have them too in the Protestant. Yeah. Well, the only thing we said growing up with that whole thing with Baptists and Presbyterians, besides the baptism argument was, Presbyterians didn't mind being seen in the liquor store. Baptists, it was like you were hiding from one another if you were in one. Like, you're like, didn't see you, you didn't see me. We're not here. Presbyterians be like, oh, what's your favorite? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. We were just talking about Scottish because I just found out my two family tartans, WD. Indeed. Yes. And because he was the founding pastor, I think he got to retire, which he didn't retire. He fell really hard with quite a bit of money. It was in his contract. But, you know, I think he might have had to split that money with the ex wife of his. So, yeah. If I go into a church that may burn down, told her. That's terrible. It won't burn down. I'm sure they've seen way worse walk through the doors, and you are not, yeah. I know in Catholicism, there's that whole thing with kind of like weighing things out, and, you know, it's kind of that Roman mentality of even the Roman gods and their version of, heaven, the afterlife kind of carried over. But no, you do. You'll do fine. Plenty has gone on in the Catholic Church that you can't burn it down by walking in. And that's any church, not just the Catholic Church, sadly. That's anyone attending them about the first one. A lot of them did. A lot of the churches did. That's I think why, like, WD. I don't know like if you ever go see Shazam, the bad characters, the evil characters are actually evil. They're the seven deadly sins, and they manifest as these big like demon like spirits, and they go into the bad guy. And the bad guy, I think it was envy that got him. I forget what it was, if it was envy or jealousy. But he basically is possessed. That's where he gets his superpowers from. And really, those stories go on when they talk about exorcisms and deliverance in Protestant, like in Protestant churches, they'll call it deliverance. Super strength is something that can happen. Yeah, it is sad, Barry. Oh, did you went? I didn't know you went to Catholic schools. There was always the board. I heard stories of like they would draw a circle and you had to put your nose in the circle. I would have been in big trouble. I got in trouble in Christian school to the point where I just left. I had never seen this happen, but I was struggling with my grades. I didn't really have help with my homework because that's how they do it for some reason. It seems like every generation, the kids are learning stuff that their parents weren't learning in the way that their parents learned it. So their parents can't always come back and help them with the homework because it's twisted. Of course, because it causes division in the home. So I was struggling, and my ADHD was showing up as talkative. Go figure. And finally, I wasn't talking in class, but I probably was talking that day. But when the English teacher was like, Carol, and it was paragraphs she wanted me to write. I don't remember if it was out of the encyclopedia or what. That was like the final straw for my mom saw them. Like, we went to go pick up my science fair project and they had thrown it out. Like, it was just, they were just mean. Like, if you weren't part of that church and ingrained in that church that it was associated with, yeah, it was not pleasant. But the church ended up having a great like youth group, and I kind of grew up in that youth group a bit. But the school was just really awful and strict. And yeah, I mean, I was a cheerleader for half of seventh grade before I left, and I got benched because I was having learning issues, and I got benched for my grades rather than them assigning maybe a tutor or a student helper that was a grade above me or something to help me. I got benched. Like, how embarrassing is that? You're at a game, you have to wear your whole outfit and sit on the bench. And it was why I didn't go out for cheerleading in high school. And my last year in high school, the cheerleaders who were on the team wanted me to. They were like, they wanted me because I knew all the dance routines and stuff at that time. And I didn't go to the tryouts because I was so afraid of that happening again because it just, I was so embarrassed. It embarrassed me so much. It is Quaker. I thought so. Okay, girl. Do you know the Mullen Street in uh, Yorktown Heights is right off Quaker Church Road. That is my family's farm. So if you ever look up Mullen Street, you'll notice it's right off of Quaker. So yeah, we have that background, my dad's side. Oh, you did? Okay. Ouch, knuckles busted. That's terrible. Oh goodness, I'm behind. Oh, whoops. Just sounding like I think Dream Mega Church. But yeah, it's awful. Okay. Started as a brother. Oh, I'll be darned. Okay. Indeed. Paul did say that about himself. And he came in as the worst. He came in as a murderer of the Jews. I mean, of the Christians, because he was a Jew of the highest order. Yes, they do because, yeah, they love money. And also because they're people, they're fallen. God's not fallen, God's pure. And all of his character traits are pure. All of his motives are pure, and people's aren't. Even mine. Mine are definitely not pure. Right? He's so departing from the Christian teachings. It's unbelievable, Q. At least he said he'd rather be buried outside. I don't think he said that. I think they gave him that as a grace to say that he said that. I think they basically told him, we're not going to bury you with all the other popes. Oh, wow. Yeah, we had overflows at that one church, Barry. Mhm. Exactly. That shouldn't be. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there should be a certain amount of piety and kind of an acceptance of that. But then you have the churches that actually anger my husband, to be honest, that are all about money, and they believe that the more money you have, the more successful you are, uh, the closer you are to God. Yeah, it changed a lot. It definitely changed a lot. Yeah, Ten Commandments is all of Leviticus, if you can follow those. Oh, hey. Hey, Queen of the Pet City and all the Dragon Cities. I don't believe I've seen you in here before. Welcome. Rougher than me. Good scent. Oh, yeah, that's, ooh, yeah, way rougher. That was you. But that explains a lot, you know. It does. Christ King, the old law was done. Yeah, but Christ is more than love too. That's the only thing is the new churches kind of cancel out all his other character traits, and he's just supposed to be love, and that is not just Christ. He is God incarnate, and God has created all the character traits. He is not just love. He's also the his love is not like we understand love. I'll just say that. But he is love. Absolutely. But love is not God, I guess. That's where they screw it up. They get it twisted. Pope Francis. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He's making it more Unitarian, and that's not the Catholic Church. That's not a Christian based church. Yeah, he's created his beliefs are more Unitarian. Yeah, but we also have to have those organizations to a certain extent. They're going to be fallen, they're going to be messed up because they're run by people. Okay, I love you, Q. Sweet dreams. Tonight, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, that's a heavy conversation. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But the tithe also supports the church. The only problem is that it also tempts the leadership of the church. Just same thing as the worship of the leadership of the church tempts the church with pride. Yeah. Yeah, to some it is, and other people believe in it, but yeah. Name it, claim it is very close to believing in the secret. Oh, oh, you're saying that to Q. Good night, Q. Love you. Hey, maybe it's God ordained. I don't know. I have no idea how we got here. You know my lives. They go all over the place. Oh yeah, those are so aggravating and so yeah. But here's the thing. God can use a donkey. God can speak through a donkey and get his way with a person. He still can use those ministries to reach areas that we couldn't reach before in a way that couldn't be reached. Not necessarily that I agree at all with what has gone down there and how they have treated people and how money hungry it has become. And excuse me while I wipe my eye, I just got this new eyeliner that's supposed to not move and it's all over my eyelid. I just saw that. Um, yeah. Okay, good night. Sweet dreams, Homestead Aquarius. Yeah, the church is supposed to be the church of Acts. It's supposed to edify us to be able to withstand the world and not to become like the world, but to go out in the world and be Christians. Even calling ourselves Christians, do you know, is like an act of pride. That blew me away when I really thought of it. It was other people who called Christians Christians. And it was in the original text, it was they were calling you a little Christ because you were doing the things that Jesus would have done when he walked on this earth. Yeah, it's okay to talk about it. It's like all the things that we talk about on YouTube. It can be, but that's been for a long time. Remember medieval times how powerful the church was along with royalty and the rich. Yeah, they did. Unfortunately, they did. And yes, they did. I believe it started in the Hebrew. Um, Aramaic is what Jesus spoke when he walked the earth. And I believe, though, all the text was Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. I thought it was depending on the book. But a lot of the first person um, books where they have kind of proved that this is the person writing the book is the ones that I tend to lean towards. Yeah. Well, we'll sure find out. And I think God reveals that. I think his Holy Spirit reveals that. Oh, I know. And they use that on here too. And they use words as Christians. There's people that will be like, and I'll pray for you. And you know what? You don't want them praying for you because they're full of demons. That, you don't want that prayed over your life. Yeah. Well, that's where you get out the interlinears, and that's when you really start studying too. We have some interlinears. We have the where it's in the Hebrew and the translation is right there. And when we were that's what I guess bothers me about myself is when I was younger, I know I love Jesus more. And anytime that you can count a time in your life where you are more in love with Jesus and then you kind of fell out of love with him, you're backslidden. And I think in these days, he doesn't require it of us, but it is to our benefit that that love relationship is there because he's the one when we go into heavenly places in the end wraps his arm around us and says they're allowed to be here because that's his kingdom. It's not mine. It's like, the king is wrapping his arms around this peasant and saying, no, no, he's with me. He's allowed to be here. I'm going to clothe him and make him look like he belongs here. Yeah, I always wanted to kind of learn Latin. I just thought it was a very pretty language, but it always bothered me because one of the churches that my grandmother went to is they spoke all in Latin and you didn't know what they were saying. It was like not many people spoke Latin, and that was kind of how they controlled the people was it wasn't within their language. Yeah, I think I heard that the English Standard Version came there's a King James Bible that they believed was pretty good as far as translation. I don't know if it's the ESV that they went back and they really studied it. The NIV is not. NIV is not. And the people that were on the board that created that Bible had some stuff going on. I'll tell you what, though, that one was such easy reading for me when I was a young Christian. But yeah, there's some translations like Mercury saying are a little. Oh, I saw that. Hold on. Oh, whoops. Hold on. I missed you. Your friend and I talked about this early this morning when we both said we were going to hang up and go to sleep. Right? Well, iron sharpens iron. I'm wondering if that was Randall. They knew who Christ was because of how he talked like others. Yeah. Well, look who he picked. That's like sometimes when I feel bad because I can't get my cursing under control when I'm anxious. I always think of who Jesus picked. Tax collector for sure is going to be cursing here and there. His language is not going to be pure. Absolutely a fisherman. Uh, John. one of our captains in Shed Wars. He's a Northeast fisherman. And if you ever go up to the Northeast and you go into one of their bars with fishermen, colorful language. And Jesus knew. Yeah. He walked among the people and lived with them and ate with them. No, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. I would like to know Latin all for botany and for being able to say plant names. Yeah. Well, isn't ours? I think ours is even the ours is Germanic based. I really like Spanish spelling better than our English spelling. It makes so much more sense to me. Oh, it wasn't? Oh, lady friend. Ooh, careful. It's funny how people pick and choose versus old and new. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we are. Yep. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. He's going to be the one to lift you up. Well, I've been struggling with YouTube and wondering time spent if it's a good match, if it's where God wants me, and if he wants me here, am I doing what he wants me to do? And I haven't been the perfect person on here, but I've also been a very wounded person, and hurting people hurt people. And uh, I'm also 53, and it's like, it's not my first rodeo, as people say. Not my first rodeo either. I know when somebody's about to scapegoat me and put everything on me, and I walk away. And basically, I'm like, nope. When the Pope was shot, I took upon myself. Pope was shot, I took upon myself to write him a get well letter. Aw! Back and sign picture. Had to have my. Oh, you were only 7? That's so sweet. I love that. That you wrote him a letter. Oh, that's kind of cool. Very cool. Well, a lot of the Native American tribes were monotheistic. The problem is there was something here before them that worshipped like a snake god, and we have all these snake mounds and things like that, and it makes me wonder um, who the land was dedicated to, even though the Lord has done an amazing work in America and gave us America to run to when there was great oppression in England, and being able to read God's word for ourselves. There's something here. Oh, okay, yeah, Angela's sweet. I love Angela. I've seen her. I love her spirit, I should say. Okay. Have a good night. Yeah, mine is not showing. Oh, it's 3 a.m. I gotta go too, Gear. All right, everybody. Say your southern goodbyes because Gear's right. My time is no longer showing on my laptop, so I went way over. I said I was going to go like an hour ago, but this was a really good talk tonight. I really appreciate it. Huh. Yeah, that definitely some things that weren't done right. That's for sure. But just like I said, humanity involved in it. You too. Don't you either, Gear. Still praying for you, dude. Definitely. No, they're not. No. I didn't say they were Christian at all. Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Good night. Thank you. I did too, Storms. Even though I haven't had panels, I also want to be careful about I haven't been careful about who I've made panels with before. I love Absolutely Diva. I'm not talking about, Maureen or a lot of our regulars. But there's been some that kind of pose as that they have that Christian like relationship, but they don't. And yeah, it's fine to be somewhat friends with them, but I don't want to be associated with that type of fakeness when, yeah, they might pray something over my friends that isn't a good thing. Who? No, not me. We're talking. We're just talking, Mercury. We're all allowed to talk to each other. It's okay. And we all have our own opinions on things. And we're all learning. We're people. I know, right? That's what's hard, and that's why I'm struggling with YT. Yeah, you're totally fine. We're all friends here, you know? All right, bless you guys. Have a great night. Thank you for coming in. Um, I hope you have a wonderful holiday. In case I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I hopefully won't have to wish you a Happy New Year. I'll see you before that. So have a good night and God bless. Bye, guys. Bye. Oh, I think I double clicked it.